Hi, welcome to Behind the Bling. Today we are going to chat with Mr. Colin Shah, who is the managing director of Kama Jewelry, which is a leading B2B jewelry manufacturing house. Hi, Colin, how are you
Hi,
doing?
Lonika. Very good.
It's a pleasure having you on the show. So, first up, we would like to know a little bit about your personal journey as to you're not from a jewelry family, is what we understand. So, how did you decide to venture into the jewelry space?
I grew up in a medical family, doctor family. My father was a doctor, brother, sister, they're all doctors today also. And right up to 11th, 12th in science, I wanted to become a doctor. Didn't get into the medical college of my choice because the Mandal Commission changed the
Right.
rules all across India and HSC marks were not good enough. You had to go through
An
the medical
entrance.
entrance exam
Oh,
again. So 11th, 12th, I did get 99 PCB. So I topped Jain
wow.
college, but I had to go through the medical entrance exam again and I got admission in Pune.
Yeah.
But my best friend at that time also got admission, and we used to have those lists, first
Right,
list, second
right,
list.
right.
So he got in on the first list. There was crazy ragging in those times. He had a nervous breakdown. He was admitted into hospital.
Oh my
So when
God.
my name came, I told my dad I'm not going, and I changed over to commerce. A lot of my father's patients in those times were diamond merchants. So I did this IGI diamond grading course,
Okay.
and that's how I got associated. That time GII IGI
Right, right, right.
was in Mumbai Devi,
Hmm.
and that was a GJPC institute. So that's where my journey, actually my I guess love affair with council started when I was 17. So I did
Wow.
that diamond grading course, and a few of my batchmates at that time were retailers in South. So I started with B2B at that time when I was 18. So that's how
Wow.
the journey started. That I was learning diamond assortments. I learned polished assortment. Then I sat on a gunty
Yeah,
for
yeah,
two
yeah.
years, learned how to cut and polish diamonds. Then
Oh, you
interned.
actually learned how you
Yeah,
sat on the
yeah, I
ghanti
learned.
and
Yeah, yeah.
learned.
For
Oh
2 years,
God.
I did that because in those times, though I started my B2B journey, I wasn't sure whether
Hmm.
I wanted to be a diamond manufacturer, jewelry manufacturer. We were still, I was,
Right.
18,
18,
19,
yeah.
so hadn't made up my mind. But after the diamond manufacturing journey, I, interned in a Seeps factory for a year, and you know, jewelry seemed to be my calling at some point. And then I started Kama when I was 24. So,
That is
at
very
night,
young.
yeah. So we started with two people, just like how you
Right,
started
right,
recently. So we were technically a startup
right.
in those days.
Those days.
And my India B2B business was doing well, but like we were in the gold control act days in those
Hmm.
times, so the entire business used to be black.
Hmm.
There was cash and we
Cash.
were
Yeah.
collecting cash, and my dad being a doctor used to get very worried that who will marry you, with all this
Black
so
money.
black money. And then that's when I actually wound up my B2B business and started Kama for exports,
Oh,
because
okay.
exports was the only thing which
Yeah.
you could do
And
properly
check.
officially. And luckily for us, in 91, with
Hmm.
Dr. Manmohan Singh coming in and liberalization happening, the new SEZ Act, a lot of things
Right,
happened in
right,
91.
right.
So even an entrepreneur like me, we could easily get a loan from State Bank of
Hmm.
India to buy the
Right.
machines. The machinery manufacturers were willing to give 1 year LC credit
Yeah.
terms, like casting machines and things like that. And I started Kama. So that was, I mean, the initial journey.
Wow. And now it is like the Kama
No, no,
jewelry.
it's
It's
not
become so,
Kama.
so, so big. So basically, you've established yourself as a pretty much a leader in, the B2B jewelry manufacturing space. So currently, what would you say is a differentiator that you have at Kama Jewels from probably because you've been one of the pioneers in a lot of things. What kind of differentiation do you see that your company brings in the B2B space within?
See, since I started as
Hmm.
a startup,
Right.
we still behave like a startup. See, earlier in the early days, we were competing with the Chinese and Thai
Hmm. Hmm.
manufacturers. Of course, we had a lot of Indian competition too when
Right.
we went
Yeah.
to US and Europe. But from day one, the differentiation had to be quality and design, or design and quality, whichever order you want to
Right.
put it in. So we've just continued to stay focused on that.
Hmm.
We do Western designs, which are always a little on the
Right.
edgier side, I
Right.
would say,
Right.
and we try and be the best in class in quality.
Quality.
So that continues to be the edge, I would say, even today.
Right. And also because I think because you cater to so many international brands, I think that kind of helps also in maintaining quality? Because in domestic domain, a little bit quality is different from what international jewelers expect.
So honestly, we give the same. We have the same manufacturing infrastructure for
Right.
exports and domestic,
Domestic.
and we produce the same quality standard. I would say, so there's no differentiation as such.
Right.
But more than, I would say, yes, earlier in the early days, it was customers who played a large part in
Right.
helping us upgrade what
Yeah.
we are doing. But I would say in the last few years, all of us are only, as the
Yes.
Indian industry, making a lot of effort to upgrade our karigar, the quality standard, to be the
The
best in the world.
design and everything.
Design,
Actually.
everything. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So you have also been a pioneer in the lab-grown B2B space. What is your take on that? Like, not many people, not many jewelry manufacturers got into. Now, obviously, a lot of people are doing it, but you have been one of the pioneers to take that step and say, okay, he'll also do lab-grown B2B. So, like, what inspired you to venture into lab-grown B2B?
To be honest, we started off because one, there was the price difference, and second is that 5, 6 years back when we started, fancies were definitely a trend.
Right.
Fancy diamonds in natural was always hard to get calibrated
Right.
millimeter sizes and
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like that. So, from the design point, we were always forced to design what was available in natural.
Right.
And lab grown gave us the ability of thinking out of the box, manufacturing practically everything and anything, which was possible. So earlier we started with that, though the price difference in those times was only 20-30%
Yeah.
between natural and lab grown. So it started because it gave us the ability of manufacturing things which we couldn't do in natural. And now obviously it's the cost
It's the
difference.
cost difference. Right. So, but do you see like a lab-grown business to be a huge, big opportunity in India in the next coming years?
I think India and globally, see, I firmly believe, and I've said it, many times in the last few years, that both will coexist. I guess once the dust settles down, there will be a customer and a market for natural, and there will be a customer and market for lab grown.
Right.
And like gold and silver coexist, and platinum, I guess natural and lab grown will also coexist. Uh, I think designers, retail space, everyone will evolve into what their offering is in lab grown and what their offering is in natural.
Right.
You know,
So,
so
also in your journey, you've played a very key role in the industry as being the chairman of the council for a long tenure, and you've done a lot of good for the industry with the government and all of that. So, some key things that you've obviously done, which has actually radically changed the industry.
see,
What were those
fortunately
key?
or unfortunately, my tenure as vice chairman started. So not so long. I was chairman for 2 years, but
Yeah, but
but
yeah,
maybe it
2 years is a
seems like a long
time.
time.
Yeah,
But
because we just knew Colin is like he's the chairman.
okay, so we came when that scam happened,
Right,
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 in
right,
2018.
right.
So when I started my tenure, the image of industry was maybe a little tarnished.
Yes.
Whether it was bankers, there were fellow jewelers who
Right,
were
it was
coming by.
jaded for a long time.
Yeah, my
Nobody
children
wanted to
aren't getting
invest.
admission in
Right,
school. You
right,
tell anyone. The
right.
public markets, IPO,
Absolutely,
equity markets were very
absolutely.
low.
Yeah.
So a big part of, I would say, my tenure went in improving the image of the industry in government, in the public eye, right? India and internationally. And, I guess the whole board and, all of us who were there at that time can take credit that we accomplished that to some extent.
Right.
Because if you see today, the image of the industry not only has forgotten, the bankers have forgotten
Absolutely,
that,
yeah.
the public markets are now quite enthusiastic about the jewelry business, and just generally in society, jewelry has a better name. So, at that point, we actually went through all the things that we could or should do to improve the image. So, one was transparency, ethics. We managed to reduce duties with the government.
Yes.
Hallmarking became mandatory.
Absolutely.
We did promotions with the World Gold Council, Natural Diamond Council. So we put together like a plan, like exactly a business plan as to what we need to
What we
do.
need to do.
But that was the overarching thing. How do we improve the image of the industry? That's what we worked on.
Yeah, because what happened was big brands, kind of, it was a big controversy. And I remember also during that time, when I was working somewhere and we were trying to raise funds, everybody was like, gem and jewelry, we don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
We just don't want to get involved. And that during your tenure has completely transformed and changed. And now a lot of jewelers, labs, everybody's coming up with an IPO. More and more people are investing in jewelry retail brands. So I think that was like a great thing that you guys did. But from the council's perspective, what do you think the industry's image is right now globally?
So the industry's image globally, again, I guess in the last few years and say in the foreseeable future, one thing's for sure that the image of the industry is definitely, I
Lifted.
guess lifted. In terms of if you say most of the large brands today, even LV, Gucci, Prada,
Right.
they name it, they all have jewelry collections. They're all doing either natural or lab grown, but all of them have some kind of jewelry collection. So, you have that end of the market.
Right.
In terms of ethics, transparency, chain of custody, I guess the industry has made tremendous progress in the last few years. So, whether it's a diamond, it's tracked right up to the mine, you know where your gold is coming from. So, and with, all the certifications like RJC and what SIPJO has, I guess
Right.
various industry bodies have various kind of norms and protocols in place. So, I guess the entire industry has made a lot of effort to uplift itself in
Right.
terms of ethics, in terms of transparency, in terms of building trust with the consumer. And even if you compare it with, I guess, several industries across the board, we would rate right up there in terms
Right.
of the amount of things that we are doing.
We are doing.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So coming back to the manufacturing space, since you've been doing this for what, 20 years plus, 40,
Yeah,
25
yeah.
years,
Yeah,
right?
30.
30 years.
Yeah,
That's a,
55. I
you
started
don't
when I
look
was
that old.
17. So, yeah,
Okay,
it's,
you don't
it's,
look
uh,
that old.
yeah.
But so how do you think that has changed? Has technology actually played a huge part in changing even the B2B? Because earlier the B2B people were, especially in the domestic sector, were still, doing the desi things and having, the desi method of doing things. So do you think technology has changed or
Oh, yeah.
impacted the B2B space?
No, tremendously. So, jokes apart, but I belong to that generation. When I
Right.
started, we used to actually get orders on telex.
Exactly,
And then
right?
telex became fax. Then we had those desktops, with the huge
Right.
monitors, right? With like big
Yeah.
televisions. And then we saw mobile phone, tablets,
Right.
and, now 4G, 5G. So,
Right.
so we've actually seen that transformation on the tech side. And coming to even our own industry, we've seen the transformation from everything being handmade to casting, to silver models,
Right.
to now 3D printed, and
Right.
now metal
Metal
printing.
printing.
So we've seen that whole journey from handset to wax
That's
set. So even in our industry, I guess in the last, I would say 2-3 decades, we've had a lot of disruption.
right.
And I think with metal 3D printing, we'll see another huge disruption, I think, in the next one,
Yeah,
2 years.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
And so, but my bigger question was that since like we moved on from handmade to this, to this, to this, but do you think that whole handmade trend is coming back again? Because again, we are seeing, are you seeing more and more retailers saying, I want more of handmade jewelry, something more custom made, more human involvement in it?
see, customization is definitely a trend
Right.
globally, India,
Right.
everywhere, because women want customized, personalized jewelry. So that definitely stays as a trend.
Right.
But even if it's handcrafted today, uh, there is a huge amount
You
of tech
tech
which
that
goes
goes
into
into it.
handcrafted. So it's
Right.
not like completely handcrafted like how it used to be
Right.
in the good old times.
You have a lot of professional people. Like earlier, we used to have, like, I don't want to sound rude, but everybody, even in the sales and people, like a guy who did an MBA or a girl who did an MBA, wouldn't end up coming in our industry. It was always that, they might go to IT or they might go to FMCG because they were more organized sectors. So, do you think that has changed for us now? That how.
See, it was always different internationally, especially on the retail and
Right.
the consumer side.
Right, right,
In the manufacturing side, yes, there were family-run companies, whether
right.
it's Jewish, American, German, even in globally and in
Globally.
India. So, because our business typically is more like, MSME
Right.
and that kind of scale, right?
Right.
Because in our industry, there are not that many billion-dollar companies. They're
Yeah.
still, between
Far and
10
few.
to 100
Yeah.
million kind of thing. So, we've always traditionally been a family run business
Right.
globally, not only in India. But now what has happened is that with, especially post pandemic, with private equity, VC funding, a lot of companies getting listed. And I guess it's only the start. We're going to see a huge amount of, I guess, investments happening in our industry in the next 3 to 5 years. We will see a lot of outside talent getting drawn in. So a lot of private equity which has happened has been
Right.
IIT engineers and
Right.
typically like you see in any other industry
Yeah.
has been also happening which is a good positive change. 40% of the industries become organized even
Organized.
on the India front now. So I guess these are all welcome changes.
Yeah, yeah, welcome changes. So, but with all these changes, I'm talking about more on the B2B side. Do you think that is also getting more and more? Or do you think the small, unorganized players are kind of getting weeded out, and you think there will be like a more the the future is more for organized large companies?
See, in India, I think again both will coexist. If you see US, Europe, I guess there's a larger organized market share
Market share.
than the independent jeweler. But in India, typically, just by the way the business is transacted, we still believe in relationships
Right.
quite a bit.
Right.
So I guess yes, organized will get larger, but independent will also have a significant presence. Having said that, today whether you're organized or unorganized, if you want to cater to any market, not only our sector but say any sector, you will need transparency, ethics, system, branding,
Right.
marketing. So all that you're
Everything in
going to
place.
need irrespective whether you have one store or 100.
Right.
So
Right. So there are a lot of new people, like a lot of small budding manufacturers who are trying to, kind of make it big. And I'm like I could say people like me who like starting up and stuff. What would you advise them to do? Do you think a more collaborative effort is what is needed now? That's something where one person can't do. You can collaborate with another manufacturer, or what is my expertise? So you think expertise based things like in Italy, maybe, some people are good at maybe setting and some people are good at filing only. I've seen factories there which only do say polishing work, and some people, do you think that kind of change would help us if we do that? Like if
to
we
be honest, we and me personally, we've been big believers in this. So again, going back to council,
Right.
that's why we started the
Right.
Bharat Ratnam, India's first mega CFC.
Yes,
So
yes,
if you
yes.
see, that's right,
That's
very
right
close
there.
by over here, and that's exactly what we are even trying to achieve over there. Is not only go the Italy, Turkey, or Thailand, China way, but this is one step up, where you have a service house,
Right.
right, where you have access to every technical service in the jewelry space without the capex cost.
Right.
So the government, the Commerce Ministry has graciously, invested more than 100 crores in the infrastructure of this building, and we have every service. So, like for example, since you mentioned yourself, do you have a platinum casting machine?
No.
So you can go and cast in platinum over there, even if you get a
Oh,
5-piece order. You don't need to
really? I
refuse
wasn't aware
anybody.
of that. So
Then
Mega CFC, what all services do they offer then?
we have everything that you need in jewelry. We have CAD, we have CAD rendering, we
Wow.
have helping you with your branding marketing if you want to make mini movies. We have plating at the highest quality level, what brands in
Really?
Europe want, whichever
Wow.
micron plating you want. We have conference rooms, business centers, we have CVD testing, we have color laser
Oh
marking,
my God.
we have, I'm telling you, we have everything. We have epoch machines. So if you don't want to invest in a electro polishing machine,
Right.
it is 50-60 lakhs,
Lakhs,
you
yeah.
can go and get your pieces polished over there. We have CNC. So today
Wow.
at the mega CFC, that's exactly what we're trying to do.
I
That
wasn't even aware of. I used to know. I have approached Mega CFC for CAD services, but never for. I didn't know that. I used to always wonder what
please
is this
visit our
big.
website, and
I
we've made it
wasn't
so easy
aware
that
of
you can
this.
even do everything online. So today we have customers even in
Oh
China,
my
in
God, this is like a
Dubai, who
revelation.
can upload their CAD file. We can cast it for them and ship it from here. So
Wow. And it's in an export promotion zone. So
no, we
internationally,
cater to both. It's at the gate of seats, so we do seats
that
and DTA.
large building that's at the
Yeah,
gate of
yeah.
St.
But we have a gate which is for special
Outside
access to
also.
DTA. Yeah,
Oh, that is like
yeah, yeah.
really amazing.
But we work with nearly now 180 factories in the DTA area.
Why was
Yeah, yeah.
because there's so many services that every small, especially people with smaller units.
No, no. So we do everything, and we've made sure that all the costs of every service are reasonable compared to what you
I
commercially
know
would
that.
pay.
I'm
So
aware of
we've
that.
kept it 10-20% lower than what you
Wow.
would, if you're comparing apples to apples, same
Right.
quality, same
Right,
everything.
absolutely.
That's how we've kept it. So
Wow. So what would be like the scale of that place? How many people are like with the CAD or
we have right now, close to 100 people working, and it's a 1 lakh square foot infrastructure. So no,
wow.
it's quite It's world class.
Oh, this is
You
like
have
a
refining
huge.
if you want. You have your dust in the factory. You don't need to set up a refinery. We refine everyone's dust. You send your person with the dust. We refine your gold in front of you and give it
Oh
back to
my
you.
God! Like this is an actual great thing. So I guess any kind of service that a small
Everything that you need in
manufacturing
jewelry,
person
everything is
could
there.
need,
Everything is there.
everything is available
Everything
at
is there.
Mega
Yeah.
CFC. Okay, this is like a really, really important thing I think that you mentioned because it's great for people to know this.
Yeah.
I don't think that many people are aware of this because I wasn't aware of this. That Mega CFC offers all services, not just CAD. I always thought it's only for CAD. So like how does it work? So if I want to
Asia's
export,
first metal 3D printer is there. There's no one in,
right?
like so
Yeah,
printing in titanium, platinum, gold.
we can
We're
do
the
that.
first. Yeah.
Oh, and so if I'm say a domestic manufacturer and I want to export something, so is that possible through Mega CFC?
No, Mega CFC won't do your exports. It's a service provider. So it will do your casting for you. This that. Exports you only have to do. No, you have to do your own.
Okay, I just thought maybe that service is
No, no,
also
no,
given
no,
because considering it's inside Seeds as well,
no, no, no.
that doesn't happen. Again, coming back to Kama, what is probably your vision for Kama Jewels?
See, we want to continue to be what we've been good at last few decades, I would say. B2B, differentiated, unique, and our specialty is 10,000 to 1 lakh, fast fashion. That's what
Right.
we do.
Right.
So, we just want to continue to focus and be the best in class in that category.
Right. So, but you also offer as Kama a white label jewelry brand, right?
We co-create brands with all our
Retail
retail
partners.
partners over the years. Many we've done over the years, and we continue to do that because that will be one of our main USPs even to the customers that we work with. That we can build brands
Brand.
which are technically superior, design
Forward,
superiority,
yeah.
for them.
Right.
That's the value add that we bring to our retailer.
Right.
Because I'm sure, like you and me, we all face that. Why should I work with you, right? So that's one of the main reasons why they.
And then you also provide them branding solutions in store, like it's like a shop in shop.
We provide end to end. We do their if they want their Instagram posts, photography,
Wow.
videos, in-store training, their point of sale material, training their. I mean, it's like 360 degrees.
So all the
It's
points
everything.
are
Yeah,
covered. So that's
Today
like
you
a
have to do
huge-
everything.
right.
Nobody
That's like a
wants
huge-
only one.
Right. So that's like a huge value add.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the strength of your company? Like, how big is your design team, and how big are your?
I mean, we have 1,000 people. We
Wow.
have 100 people in design, PD, CAD, all that,
Wow.
product development.
Right.
But more than just the number, that's the strength that we bring. That a lot of people see in our industry, like I know over the years, I mean, there are thousands of manufacturers, right?
Right.
And everyone is good. But we would like to believe that we do the execution part better or as good as the best out there.
Right.
Because that's where I guess a lot of people maybe are not able to
Right.
do it as well. Like for example, we do 5-day delivery programs
Wow.
where if a retailer has a SKU on their website, they don't need to stock, they place an order, and even if it's customized, we ship bill out of factory between 3 and 5 days.
Wow.
Ring, earring, pendant in 3 days, necklace, bracelet in 5
Wow.
days. Right? So
That's
so I mean, yes, a lot of
That's an
people say they do
achievement.
it, but we do it at scale.
You do it at scale.
And we're doing hundreds of pieces every day practically.
Right.
So these are all the small little edges that we
Advantages
bring.
that
That
you have.
one is doing it, but actually executing it
Executing it
in a
and-
seamless way, all 365 days. That's
Right. That's a huge achievement because, and this is inclusive of certifications and hallmarking.
Everything.
And everything. Wow, 5 days. I should come to you. That's awesome. And anything else that you would like to add?
Again, like I said, our delivery is reliable, quality. We're extremely, we've always been high up there. We only hold ourselves to a much higher bar than, say, maybe many of our customers do. And the service part, we continue to be humble as a company and really believe in the relationship business because, I'm a first generation entrepreneur. We're not coming with 3 generations of wealth or, anything of that sort. So we continue to really work hard on the relationship part with our customers.
So did that really, like a lot of manufacturers who are there, typically would be, site holders, families or something. Did that change anything for you? Because were you easily accepted in the industry coming from an outside? Because when you started, not many people were outside the industry. Everybody was within family, somebody's son, somebody's brother, nephew, all of that. And you being like a complete person who is not from the background and is not from a jeweler family, did that change anything for you? Did you face, what could I say? Did you kind of face some obstruction? Did that create a barrier?
So honestly speaking, I think I've been lucky with people,
Right.
and I've met some fabulous people in our industry only over the
Right.
years. Otherwise, say I'll give you the contra opinion. So
Right.
say all the things that you mentioned, was it difficult? Yes, it should have been, right?
Should have been.
It should have been
Absolutely.
difficult.
Yeah.
I should, but it didn't happen
didn't
that way,
happen that
So I think people were fantastic. Whether it's exports or domestic, they were all happy to give a chance.
Right.
So I guess giving you a chance, that people are willing to do.
Right.
If you fail, then maybe you don't get another chance. So I've made sure that I
Right.
keep my word. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or rather, we keep our word as a
Right.
company. And people have been fabulous. I've been lucky with diamond merchants, partners, customers. I've not really had, not to say that in 30 years I've never had a bad experience,
Right.
but they've been too far and few
Right.
to remember. It's been
Right.
more or less a happy journey.
That's amazing. Again, a very controversial question. With this growing gold rate, at the rate market is going, with the gold reaching exponential prices now, you think as a manufacturer we are facing as an industry? You think the manufacturing units are, because ultimately we are gold forward, we invest the gold, we get it at say X number of days. So do you think that might change in like the coming years? Like, would you think that with this current gold price, it is not possible for us to invest gold for the retailers?
Uh, See, it's going to be survival of the fittest.
Right.
Okay, so that will happen.
Right.
And maybe that's not such a bad thing. So, there'll be some amount of consolidation,
Right.
from the industry
Right.
point of view, because we do have too many
Players.
manufacturers, too
Right.
many retailers. There's
Absolutely.
like, today you take telecom industry in our country, we have three companies.
companies.
You take any other airlines, you have maybe four, five companies. So in our industry, we do have too many players.
Yeah, we do.
So
have.
some amount of consolidation, I think, will happen on both ends, retail and manufacturing. But having said that, I think what will really happen is, see, in any market, whether it's India or globally, the price points don't change.
Right.
Over there, say it's $1,000, €1,000. In India, say it's 1 lakh of rupees or 50,000 rupees, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But the bill of material in that price point will change. So as gold rate goes up, we've already seen a 14 carat is getting more and more accepted,
Right.
and maybe now the future will be more 9 and 10 carat.
In
So I
India
guess,
as well?
Yeah, in India as well. India, who would have thought, when
14
I started, and see, maybe our generation has seen again.
Right.
So nobody thought that diamonds below VVS would sell.
Right.
And today, everything sells. So anything and everything which we thought, US is buying, now is selling in India.
Absolutely.
Right? Who would have thought lab grown would
sell?
right?
No
So why, 9 carat is also not far away.
Right.
I think the minute hallmarking
I
starts
was
in
just
9
going to
carat.
ask you
So,
that.
earlier industry only asked for 14 and
Right.
they accepted. I don't think they'll have an issue to accept,
Accept
9
9
at some
and-
point, and maybe once that happens, then again the diamond and gold ratio will change in the jewelry. And the consumer, I don't think they really, as long as you're giving, if you say you're giving 9 carat and you give 9 carat, they don't have an issue.
They don't have an issue. So you think that might change in India? Like in India, still people buy jewelry as a store of value, and something as they look forward to buying jewelry as an investment more than just a glamorous product or something for you to flaunt. So you think in the future 9 and 10 carat will be accepted largely across India?
See, 9 and 10 carat, or what fundamentally you touched upon is store of value, is completely dependent on the exchange return policy given by the retailer they buy from.
Right.
So as long as the retailer they buy from assures an exchange return policy which is within the norms of what a consumer is looking for, right? They will buy. Why will they have another opinion on? I think that's the fundamental thing, the return policy.
So what would be the one piece of advice that you would want to give entrepreneurs, young professionals who want to enter the diamond jewelry industry or the gold jewelry industry?
See, our industry generally is an industry which is very cyclical, and I guess the bad cycles come more often than the good cycles. So the only thing which will continue to help you in all those tough times is hard work. So as long as you're willing to work hard, work harder than the competition, work harder than anybody that you know, you will survive and thrive.
And with that, I think we are now going to directly go into our rapid fire round.
Okay?
It's called Quick Bling Buzz. So it's a rapid fire. I'm going to ask you quick questions. Natural or lab grown diamonds? Your personal pick for the future of jewelry.
Both.
Okay. If you could design a piece of jewelry inspired by your favorite Hollywood movie, what would it be?
It would probably be a kada like this, which is the only piece of jewelry that I wear.
You will.
And it was more inspired from the movie DDLJ.
Oh, Shah Rukh Khan. What's the one jewelry trend that you think will dominate 2025?
Men's jewelry.
A gemstone that perfectly reflects your personality.
Emerald.
Why would you say that?
Something I believe in. Luck,
Okay.
prosperity,
Tea, coffee, or sparkling diamond to start the day?
coffee.
If jewelry could talk, what would it say to its buyer?
Love yourself.
Okay. What's the most fascinating country you visited for gemstone sourcing?
For jewelry sourcing, Italy.
Italy. Gold, the ultimate classic or overdue for a modern makeover?
Overdue for a modern makeover.
Okay. Okay. Retail or wholesale? What do you think is more thrilling for a jeweler?
Wholesale.
Wholesale. Why?
You know, it's something I do. And I used to be a retailer.
Right.
I had one store. And
Acha.
that's not for me. So, you know, so.
Right. I personally believe retail is not for me because I don't have the patience. If you could gift one historical jewelry piece to someone, what would it be and why?
Kohinoor to my wife. Ultimate gift of love. Huh?
Okay, great. Since it's that wife, I'm not going to ask why. What is the biggest misconception that people have about diamonds?
That it's for investment and it's
Right.
going to appreciate.
If Kama Jewels could have a brand ambassador from history, who would it be?
Alia Bhatt, she's always been my favorite.
Arey, but from history.
Nobody from history.
We want Alia Bhatt only. Okay, Alia is going to listen to this. Okay, what's the most creative piece of jewelry that you've ever worked on?
I'd made this very interesting engagement ring, which was, you know, like an entire diamond special cut engagement ring, which was probably, I guess, in my life so far, the most interesting piece.
of jewelry.
Because we had to recut all the diamonds. So.
Okay. Okay, the one word you would use to describe the Indian jewelry industry?
Resilient.
Absolutely. If you weren't in the jewelry business, what would your dream profession be?
Medicine.
You already answered that in the beginning. Okay. If you could name a gemstone after yourself, what would you call it? Waiting.
What would I call it? Iron Man.
Iron Man. Okay. Which is harder, running Kama Jewels or being chairman of the council?
Chairman of the council. This is easy.
Thankless
This is easy.
Diamonds are forever, or do you see lab grown as the future?
Diamonds are forever.
Okay, since you've done extremely well on the rapid fire, you're going to get this hamper
Thank you.
from
Thank you
Behind
so
the
much.
Bling.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to keep it here for you. Now, just one quick bite you can give in the camera about your experience on being on the show and what do you think about this whole new format?
So it's been fabulous coming here today on Behind the Bling. I think it's a great initiative by Lunica and the entire team over here. You know, I've done several of these and this has been a seamless experience. I hope, you know, all the viewers enjoyed as much as I've enjoyed doing this show with Lunica. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Colin. Thank you for being on the show. It's been a pleasure having you. Thank you very much.